everybody, and welcome to B's Views. I'm very excited because this is my first episode of my health segment. It's called Health for Your Wealth. Yeah. So as you can see, there is an empty chair right here, and that is for a reason. I have a special guest today, my friend Laisha. So come on, Laisha. Hi everyone. Okay, so Laisha, tell people something about you.
Well, future OBGYN, very interested in the topic that we're going to talk about today.
So, what is the topic?
What is the topic? Menstruation!
Basically, our objectives today, what we're going to do, just talk about what it is. Most women we should know already what it is. But really, what we want to talk about is what are in those products that we use and how it's impacting us today. So let's get started. Okay, so menstruation, aka
outflow,
aka what else? Hallelujah, you're not the father. Menstruation is the formal scientific term, but it's also called your period or your menstrual cycle because it happens every month, which is a period of time. Okay, so basically it's a cycle of 28 days. Some women it lasts longer, some women it's less. And day one is the day you get your period, and it usually lasts for some women between 2 to 5 days, 2 to 7 days, sorry. So but on average it's about 5. So basically what is happening is that the uterine lining is being shed of blood. And why is there blood there in the first place? Because there is an anticipation for a baby. That is why when you see a period, that means that you're not pregnant because there was no baby. So when if the egg is not fertilized, it travels down the fallopian tube. It gets fertilized around here usually, and then it comes down. And then if it's not fertilized around here, it comes down, it starts to disintegrate, and it's like pew, pew, it's done. So then but this happens around here. The ovulation where fertilization could happen, it happens at these days. I think they should have it in red. I do not know why I have it in blue, because these are like the no-go days, okay? So out of the 28 days, you have about 10 days where about 8 to 10 days where you can get pregnant. So you have about 18 days where you can't get pregnant. And then you continue on, blah, 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 blah. So we have some links if you want to find out what are some symptoms of your period and stuff.
I personally get really tired.
Yeah.
Very tired. Oh, just want to sleep all day.
I think that's normal because, like, you know, you're losing blood, and
yes,
in the blood you have hemoglobin, which carries oxygen, which gives you energy. So therefore, if you don't have, so then that makes sense. A lot of women are really strong. Because it's like I just still feel like men do not understand like what we have to go through. Like you are tired, and you cannot be tired.
Yeah.
You
can't just take 5 to 7 days off every month.
Some other symptoms: body aches, back aches for sure, weakness in the legs,
some cravings.
Cravings, really?
Yeah.
So breast tenderness, moodiness. Okay, let's talk about that for a second.
PMS is real, guys.
It is. This is my thing, okay? I believe, okay, this is what I think. I don't think women are just more moody just because they're on their period. Yes, it might have something to do with hormones, but I feel like, you know, you're going through all these things. It's like your level of tolerance for people on the it's like,
if that,
right? Yeah. So some people, it's like on normal days I could talk to you, I could, you know, I could take your BS, but today it's like no, 0 point blank. And the cramps, these are the biggest issues most women have.
I don't.
You don't have it?
I don't get cramps.
At all?
My stomach will feel a little uncomfortable, but cramps, no. The only time I'll get cramps is if I don't eat properly during that month before my period. So that's why I'm always making sure that my diet is very on point. Like, of course I'll eat fries. Fries are my guilty pleasure. I have fries, but I'll also make sure that I'm eating a well-balanced diet. And I think that's very important when you're considering how can you relieve these symptoms naturally. I definitely encourage women to eat better and exercise regularly, because that can really relieve some of these symptoms.
Yeah. Well, 'cause I know for me, like I get cramps, but then it's like every 3 months I have those really bad cramps where it's like I cannot walk. Yeah, I cannot really walk, and I have to stay home, like that kind of stuff. Like it's serious. And the worst thing is all that pain for nothing, because it's like then you look down and there's nothing there. Anyway, what are some problems with your period that people could experience?
Amenorrhea is one of the problems that can occur when talking about periods, and that's the lack of a period. And that can sometimes happen or be diagnosed by age 15 years old if you haven't already received your period, or if you go without a period for longer than 90 days.
But it could happen also when you're doing certain things like breastfeeding.
Extreme exercising
Yeah.
can cause that. Stress, extreme weight loss too, because our bodies and body fat kind of correlates with our period. So if our bodies are under a specific amount of body fat, then that can affect our periods as well.
And also, if your periods are regular, that means that there's parts of your body that actually working regularly. So if it's kind of irregular, it's something that you would want to check out, you know.
Another problem that can occur is dysmenorrhea, which is painful period. So that can be anything from severe cramps, where you're seeking painkillers because they're that bad, and also if you have severe cramps, heating pads and a warm bath really helps.
Yeah, and painkillers. Oh, did you say painkillers?
Yes, okay.
Yes, ibuprofen. I usually go. I'll be like, can I get ibuprofen? And they're like, what strength? I'm like, give me the strongest strength. Yeah. Another problem that you could have, uterine bleeding, abnormal bleeding.
Yes, abnormal bleeding is another problem that can occur with your period, and this is bleeding outside of when you normally have your period. So anytime besides those 5 to 7 or 2 to 7 days where your period occurs.
Or after sex, or after menopause, sometimes that kind of stuff happens. And they could have many causes, so the treatment for it will be specifically to the cause, so it's good to check out your doctor. So if someone hasn't seen their period, when should they see a doctor?
Okay, well, if they're over the age of 15, they definitely should go see the doctor.
Okay.
3 years after your breasts start developing, that's usually the onset of your menstrual cycle. So if that doesn't occur, you should also go talk to your doctor. If it stops suddenly for 90 days, go see your doctor. All of a sudden becomes regular after you've noticed that usually every 3 months your period comes late or it doesn't come, and then all of a sudden it starts coming regularly, you should still probably go talk to your doctor. Bleeding or heavy bleeding for longer than 7 days, please go see your doctor. Severe cramps. Yes, I will be practicing soon enough. Yeah. Severe cramps, like you can't move, can't get out of the bed, and it's really messing with your quality of life, see your doctor. And if you get sudden fevers after using tampons, which we're going to get into a little bit later, please see your doctor.
All right, so, and something we kind of touched on earlier, your diet when you're on your period or about to be on your period, or just your diet in general as a woman, because we lose about 1 cup of blood a month. Yeah, that's a lot, because you have about 5 liters of blood in you. That's like 2 big Cokes and a half. So because a big Coke is like 2 liters, yeah. So then that's a little bit of blood for us, and well, it's a lot for 1 cup to be losing 1 cup of that a month. And then it's not being replaced readily. So food's high in iron obviously, because iron makes up hemoglobin, and that's what carries oxygen and So, and chocolate. That is why they say chocolate is a woman's.
And it makes you feel good.
Yeah. But especially dark chocolate though. Don't just go buy a candy bar. That will not do it. But yeah, dark chocolate for sure. During your period also, some things women need to look out for, that you're less likely to get a yeast infection because your pH is going up, but you're more prone to get a bacterial infection. And that's something women need to be very careful about, especially the pads and keeping them long and that kind of stuff, and how often they take a bath, not a bath, but a shower or a bath. So yeah, we did some research and we got some fun facts or odd facts, I guess, and Laisha is going to tell us about that.
Okay, well, did you guys know that menstrual cramps can reduce cognitive function?
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to do
Oh, you did?
Yeah, no. Yeah, well,
That
I mean,
makes sense.
it makes sense. It makes sense now because it's like when you're period, it's like, what the hell? Like, you really have to, like, be, like, more focused. So, yeah. What else?
The way that you experience pain also changes during your period. So I would imagine you'd be more prone, more sensitive to pain.
Yeah.
That's so true, actually. That's really true. Because I'm thinking, like, especially since I get body aches, I'm like, oh, don't touch me. Ow. It feels like I got run over by a car.
Yeah.
Somebody help me.
And then, like, is there a breast tender, all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cramps can travel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Can
maybe
you
that's
speak to
why.
that?
That's why I think probably that's why I was saying like my legs get really weak.
Oh.
Like when I have my period, if it's really bad, like it gets really weak. That's why I can't even walk. Yeah.
And there is this thing called menstrual synchrony. I don't know if there's studies out there, but I feel like it's true because anytime I start to get around a lot of women, supposedly I'm the one that induces earlier periods.
The endorphins. That's what they call it. I read up something on that, and it said that there's not really any studies to show that happens, but people have experience and people have said that. So there's like this alpha female thing. And when I was around my team, my sports team, when I was at school, a lot of us started experiencing our periods around the same time and stuff like that. Imagine us on a bus traveling to a game. Horrible. So yeah, but also it could affect your voice. You sound. I read that some men did a test and then they didn't know who the women were, and then they were just listening to the voice and they were like, this lady doesn't sound sexy at all. Like when you're on your period, you don't sound as sexy as when you are not. So I was like, that's funny, that's weird. And I think it gets a little deeper because of hormones or whatever affecting your voice box. And women who have, also an odd thing is that women who have shorter cycles have a higher chance of getting pregnant because it's so irregular. I was like, dude, I was like, thank you, Lord. Alright, so what do we do to control our periods? Mainly people use what? Pads and tampons.
Yeah, pads and tampons.
But that was not always the case. Back in the day, women used to use a lot of different things. So
Shout out to them.
Yeah. We have a video on that. Let's see. the segment that I'm very excited about. What are in those pads? After doing some research, we found out that certain companies, like Procter & Gamble, they're not required to say what are in the pads, because pads and tampons, because they're considered medical devices. So an independent test ran by a lady, I forget her name. She ran an independent test or something to that effect, and they found a bunch of chemicals that have been linked to cancer, and I believe that. For a long time. I've been thinking there is some kind of correlation between the increase in the prevalence and incidence of like cervical cancer, fibrosis, all these kind of things, and with the market for tampons and pads becoming wider, I do think, and it becoming more convenient. Okay. And I, as I've said before, I hate people to lie to me. So this is really hurting me because I'm very upset. And the FDA, Food and Drug Association in the States, because that's where most of the products come from, they're the ones that don't require them to put it because it's a medical device. They're the same ones that where they allow certain foods on the market, and then they don't necessarily say it's not good for you, but it's just edible. It's edible, but it doesn't say they don't say that it's not good for you, because it could be not good for you, but it's still it's still edible. Yeah. So that's ridiculous. Is that a government thing or independent? A government association.
Government association.
Yeah, and these are people we pay to do the best thing for the country and whatever, and they don't care. They're just all about making money. So anyway, there is a petition to provide ingredients. There is a petition going on change.org where they're requiring Procter & Gamble to put in their ingredients into their pads and stuff to see, because it's like, why not?
Yeah, I feel like we should all have our own choices. If they want to sell the product, at least let me know what I'm getting. Let me be able to do my own investigation and decide whether or not I want to use the product. So I'm definitely for them putting the ingredients on there, and then I myself can look into, okay, well, what are these ingredients?
Because they know if they put it there, you will not give them their money. That's what they know. They know that. So this lady, Andrea, she set an always pad on fire. We're gonna show the video. Always pad, and then a natural pad, and then she showed how they burned. And besides the chemicals, there are other things in there like plastic and rayon and all these other things that are not good for the environment either. So we're going to talk about that.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Donsky, founder of naturallysavvy.com. So we decided to call Procter & Gamble and ask them what was in their Always Infinity pads. They told us that it contained foam and Infinicell, but they couldn't tell us more than that. That's upsetting to me as a woman because I have the right to know what goes into and on my body every single month. In doing our research, we found that Infinicell has over 60 different patents. We do know that conventional sanitary pads contain crude oil plastic and other potentially harmful chemicals such as odor neutralizers and fragrances. So today we're going to set two different types of pads on fire. We're going to do the Nature Care pads, which are 100% organic cotton. They contain cellulose from wood pulp and cornstarch. And the reason we know that is because the ingredients are written on the bottom of the box. This is full disclosure labeling. The second one that we're going to light on fire are the Always Infinity pads made with, well, we don't really know what. So here we go. So let's observe. The Always pads are definitely burning a lot quicker. Lots of black smoke. Lots and lots of black smoke. Wow. And it's burning very quickly. And if you look at the Nature Care pad, you'll see it's not burning nearly as quickly. And it's also beginning to die out a bit. It even smells. You can even smell. And look at the foam. You could see, if you look really closely, you could see the foam that's being exposed from the fire.
Look at the size of the flame, too. There's hardly any flame on the Nature Care one at all.
Yeah, the Nature Care one is definitely not burning even nearly as quickly.
Yeah, it really smells.
Wow, that is absolutely incredible. The Nature Care one is still going just a little bit. Look at the difference also. Look at the black smoke on the plate. Look what the residue that it's leaving, the Always Infinity pad. Look at the residue it's leaving on the plate, whereas you don't see any residue on the Nature Care pad. on the plate from the Nature Care pad. That is absolutely incredible.
The always one is fusing itself to the bowl.
Holy cow.
Look at it's all white smoke coming from Nature Care. It's just still that black smoke and always. Look at
Wow.
that. Yeah, we gotta put that out.
That is crazy. Holy cow. Take a close-up, Dawn, of what it looks like. Whoa. It's just melting onto the plate. That's crazy. Oh my God, look at it.
Look at that
It's
go.
crazy. Now look at the Nature Care pad. It's just hardly doing anything. Wow.
Whoa, look at
the
that.
color. You're
It's-
right. The white smoke on the Nature Care. It's all just white smoke from the cotton.
Yeah, and
But look at that. Oh my God. It's
my nostrils
totally-
are seriously hurting right now.
Okay. Oh my God. Let's put it out. I'm gonna put it out. That is totally crazy. Nature Care is pretty much out on its own anyways.
Look at the bowl.
Well, there you have it. That's what happens when we burn two different pads. One is from 100% organic cotton, and one is from, we don't really know what. So please, sign our petition, join us, help us make a difference. And please, if you know any women, you are a woman, sign the petition, ask Procter & Gamble to disclose their ingredients, and visit naturallysavvy.com for more information. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess with all those, so I was very curious. So I went to the supermarket and I went to check out what was on the shelves. And a lot of them I could not find anything with any ingredients at all. And I'm like, ingredients. Yo. Nope. Not. All it's saying is where it's distributed. That's all. Some stuff in French. Now, Laisha showed me that she does have ingredients on. Ingredients may contain cotton, rayon, polyester, polypropylene, polyethylene, fiber finishes. Design developed in Britain. They do say it's recyclable, but not telling me what's there.
This is very discouraging.
Yeah, I'm actually honestly, well, we're gonna talk about it later, but I'm moving into the natural route.
If a fire can just burn like that, those chemicals, you can imagine how many chemicals are in that product.
And it's the plastic as well, the plastic that's in there, because when
when
plastic
it's
burns
stick.
for a while. And not only that, in order to give them that white appearance, they have to bleach it. So they use a lot of chlorine, which has been linked to things like dioxin that is not considered not safe by the EPA. That's the Environmental Protection Agency in the States. It is not considered any level of it, whether you have a trace or whatever. It's not considered as safe.
All these chemicals in contact with such a susceptible place on the body is very concerning.
And not just that, they've said too that cotton is considered one of the dirtiest crops in the world because they use a lot of pesticides, and it's the one 95% of the cotton crops are made using GMOs, genetically modified is it organism? Genetically modified organism. I can't remember. They manipulate the genes in order to clone the seeds and stuff like that. And it has a lot of rayon and plastic, and pieces of these things could actually stay inside of you, which could further help with toxic shock and stuff like that. Yeah, so now everybody might be saying but it's convenient and stuff like that, but we are paying a price. I do believe that there is some kind of link between these new products, these convenient products, and the rise in cancers and other issues with their reproductive system. But something that happens more often than it shouldn't be
when
toxic shock syndrome.
Yeah, so that can occur when you leave your tampon in for too long, but also when you might have your pad on for too long. I think people usually associate with tampons, but it can also happen with pads too.
Yeah.
So some symptoms of that are headaches, seizures, redness in your eyes. If you have a sudden fever and you're not sick and you just get your fever out of nowhere, vomiting, diarrhea, oh gosh, low blood pressure, a rash that can be similar to a sunburn, but it's usually on the palms of your hands and in the bottom of your feet. Those are a couple of the symptoms. So the best thing to do is not leave your pad in or tampon for more than 4 to 6 hours, especially if you have a heavy flow. You want to be changing that regularly. And if you you think that you might have toxic shock syndrome, go into the nearest medical emergency place and get that checked out.
And I know some people might be thinking like, who's gonna leave their pad in for someone? Like people do
So
that,
easy.
and not just that. I feel like for women, we have such a demand on us to do stuff, work. We always busy. Sometimes and that just shows you that how we put ourselves behind sometimes so much for other people or for other things. Because it happens a lot with women. And actually, I saw something in the news about that recently, that a woman for 9 hours she had it in and she died.
So easy to just forget that
Yeah. And not
you have to check on these things while you're going through your day.
And it's not just with, even when you change it, you want to be careful to wipe. We use feminine wipes to wipe out any extra plastic or whatever it is that could be there that could probably lead to it later. But then again, if you don't use the ones with plastics, you don't have to worry about that. But the other thing that we actually pay for, and people do not really care about this, is the environmental impact.
Yeah.
One pad has about 4 plastic bags worth of plastic. And that's about 300 pounds of plastic in her whole lifetime.
Wow.
And most of these plastic things end up in landfills, which is hard to break down over
They're
time.
not biodegradable.
Yeah.
They're sitting there.
I think plastic takes about 1,000 years. That's like how many generations of your family is. Like you gone, but your pad's still there. And also in water sources too. These things end up by the river. People don't even practice proper environmental
disposal.
Right.
So you see, just the other day we saw a panty liner floating in the ocean.
Oh yeah, that's true. So with all this information, it's like, what do we do now? Like this is what we've been doing for a long time. You want us to go back to the belt? No, we don't want that. Although I think the belt would be good. I don't mind getting a belt. I should look for a belt.
Not a fan of the belt. But there are some alternatives.
Yes.
Like cloth pads, which are reusable. So
yeah, that's the only thing.
chuck those in the washing machine or what?
I saw somebody was talking about when the other thing we're gonna talk about, that they boil it in with hydrogen peroxide and stuff like that.
You can't eat it everybody's house. I would.
I mean, you have your special period pan.
Okay.
So like
you have period panties, period pans,
period cloths.
period cloths.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, like just like the
PPE.
the diapers from back in the day, like before they had the plastic diapers for children, they were pooping and peeing in, cloth diapers. Yeah. So that's the only downside about that. You just have to keep washing it, and but then do you either want to wash or suffer from cancer? If you got cancer today and somebody is like, you could go back in time and all you have to do is just be inconvenienced, I'll be like, hello, give me these cloths, because
give me a pan too.
Yeah.
My period pan.
Another one, if you still want to stick with the tampons and the pads, just try to get those that are natural, 100% organic. And Nature Care is one of the products that we saw in the video, and they said they're about the same price. So it's really for us to, I don't know with us in the Caribbean how you could get it down here, but it's for us to demand from our suppliers, like, look, we're not buying these things anymore, we need these things. Another interesting one that I saw was sea sponges.
That one, tell me about that one. That sounds very interesting.
SpongeBob in your stuff.
So is it the shape of a tampon and you...
No, they get them from the sea. They kind of hard. Once you wet them, I think you have to wet them and then you push them up and they kind of work like a tampon. Okay. The same kind of thing. But I was watching the doctors and this lady, I find she wasn't making any sense. But she was talking about the sponge and the only thing she was saying was that it's full of dirt, and and then but it's like there are more issues with pads and tampons
Than the
than with
sponge.
that. Right. I'm not saying to go put dirt up your stuff, but I'm sure they have ways of eliminating the dirt and stuff like that.
I'm sure they
So-
clean it before they
Yeah.
package it to sell to you.
Yeah, so you wet it and then you put it up there. But the one that is the best alternative, good for the environment, saves you money, and you don't really have to think about it, is the... What you were gonna say?
Menstrual cup.
The very popular one is the Diva cup. It's called the Diva cup, and it's reusable silicone. And yeah, as you said, it's cheap, and you only buy them once a year. They're about $25 on Amazon, I think, and they're cute. Like, and there's different ways. It looks really big, but it's actually, you could fold it in and then
There's
push
a lot
it
of
up
folding
and stuff.
techniques for
I
that.
know
I thought that's
someone who
interesting.
actually wears them, and they said that they like it. I really want to move to this. By the end of this year, I'm doing this. I should try all of them.
Try the sponge. I want her to try the sponge.
I don't know. That'll be interesting. I should do that.
I think I would consider the Diva cup.
Okay, I'll try it. Or when you go home, do it and then tell me, and I'll do it. And we'll come back and do something.
Okay, I'll look into it. Go
But-
on Amazon and check it out.
Yeah, so you just put it up. You could usually leave it there for up to what, maybe 8 hours, I think, right?
Yeah.
I think. And then while you're bathing, you just pour it out. You wash it and then push it back up. And women say they don't really feel it or anything like that, so that's great. So do they work? One of the articles we saw some women who gave their opinion after they changed their methods. These are some of the things some of them said. The lady said, I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and my periods have always been unpredictable. I decided to make the switch to cloth pads, and I'm so happy that I did. Within just a few months, I began to have regular cycles. I used to have heavy bleeding and severe cramps, horrible stabbing pains.
Wow.
I've been pain-free and regular for 8 months now. I'll never go back to chemical-ridden disposable products again. And I tell you, I believe that. I believe that these things, there's no way that could just be a coincidence that there's this rise in all these kind of reproductive system-linked cancers and diseases, and there's a increased market for all these things for the convenience. Yeah, right. And I wonder if these people actually use their own products. I feel
That's
like
a good question.
the owner of McDonald's, do you think he eats in McDonald's? Or the CEO, whoever it is? They're not
That's a
eating
good
that.
question.
You know, they could afford private chefs and all kind of stuff like that. Like, you know, these are the things people need to think about.
So then we have somebody who uses the Diva cup. They said, I use the Diva cup and I suffer from ovarian cysts that rupture every month. Before switching to Diva, I could be using the world's largest diaper pad and still feel the gush while sitting in the middle of the restaurant.
Damn.
Wow. And have to figure out how to save my dignity. The Diva cup has been a lifesaver. I could go without in the public without worry. And I can sleep through the night without worry.
Oh, that's good.
That's awesome.
That's something too we don't really talk about. Like the way we feel when you're on your period, it's like I always have to be checking. Yeah. It's like really
And the
embarrassing.
gush is very
It's scary. It's really scary.
You're like, I hope it don't gush more than it needs to and leak out somewhere it shouldn't. And I think for me personally, it's how I take my tampon to the bathroom. Like sometimes I don't always have my backpack or a purse, and it's just like I don't want to carry this little small pouch so people know that I'm on my period.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I have a jacket on, I'll slip it in between my sleeves, or I'll
It's
slip
in your
it,
bra.
yeah, somewhere, and it's just like, oh. And for the longest too, even when I was in the bathroom, I didn't even want to have to hear the plastic unwrapping and people knowing that I'm on my period.
We
Like, "Oops, she's on her
we
period."
should not be ashamed of that. That is natural.
I know, but still I have that guilt sometimes.
Why are you guilty about something God gave you? That's natural.
I'm so thankful, God. But it's just the carrying the tampon to the bathroom still. Just,
Yeah, I know. It's just that
Makes me
stigma.
uncomfortable.
It's that stigma that has been associated with periods for a long time. Like
Yeah.
in the video, it showed that it wasn't mentioned on TV until 1985.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like yeah.
Oops, she's on her period. Oh, if you look at me the wrong way. Oh, it's because she's on her period. I think for me, that's what it is. Like, don't blame stuff on my period.
Yeah. So this is really it. This is really. I hope everybody learns something, or like I really hope people make the switch, because I'm making the switch sometime soon.
Yay.
Are you gonna make the switch?
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll do a follow-up.
And you don't even get cramps, so maybe even I don't know how you would experience the difference.
I guess the difference would be, because I'm more of a tampon user, so comparing it to the tampon feel.
Okay.
I think
The
the cup.
Okay.
The cup. Not doing the sponge. I think what's kind of attractive to me about the Diva cup is that I can go all day with it.
Okay.
And I don't have that stigma of, taking my tampon to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
That's something that's attracting me to the Diva cup. So we'll see.
So in conclusion, what have we learned today?
We have learned that periods are natural, they're normal, they should be widely accepted, and we should talk about them more.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
And because they're natural, we should be looking at natural ways in order to deal with it and
That's true.
to decrease these abnormalities that we see all the time. Yes. What else did we learn?
We're killing the earth. Our uses of tampons and pads are really killing the earth.
Yeah, because they stick around for a long time. And a lot of people don't see the link, but then with plastic, the more plastic that is used, that means the more fossil fuels
Gonna be burned.
Right. And the more emissions into the air and stuff like that. So we feeling it some kind of way. We're not feeling it here, but we're feeling it some kind of way. Also, there is proof out there that chemicals do exist in pads and tampons, and the owners and the creators of these major companies, they don't care about you. They only care about your money. So think about that before you go to buy. And I know it's not going to be something you're going to just switch right away. Not everybody has the means of doing it, but it should be something that you do look into, and look at the costs down the line. Look at for a year how much you would buy pads. That's like $60, 60 maybe.
There was a statistic saying that
$120.
women in general spend about $2 billion on pad or sanitary products a year.
Yeah, but I'm saying like for an average one person, like let's say $10 a month. Let's say that's $120, and then you have the Diva cup. You buy it for like 20 US, 25 US. That's like less than $75. I mean, it's not a big difference, but it is some kind of difference financially, and for yourself in the long run, it is possible. And change is possible. It can happen if you want it to happen. So anyway, this has been Veronique's Views, Health for Your Wealth, and I hope that everything we said today was very inspiring, funny, I don't know. So make the change.
Yes, and thank you for having me.
Yes, and thank you for coming,
No
Laisha.
problem.
Yes, and you'll see Laisha in some other videos of mine. I'm thinking of calling this like the vaginal. What's the word I came up with? Vaginal tails. I don't know what. But anyway, so have a good day, and remember, God is love, and keep your intentions pure. Bye. Bye. No. That is nice. I like that. These views, vaginal dog reviews. No, it was vaginal tail.